Hello and welcome to the inaugural episode of Mashing the Meta. I am Tap here with our first episode. Mashing the Meta, we will be going over some decks in the meta at the time of recording to see how they fare. In this particular case, we're working on Best of 1. And in this particular case, we are working on Simic Flash. So this deck came about right at the beginning of the release of M20. It showed some pretty good results on Magic Online, as well as some tournaments in the past couple weeks. The crux of the deck is to play things in blue and green at instant speed, as the name indicates. The basis behind the deck are Nightpack Ambusher. It's a 4-mana 4/4 flash that if you don't play spells in your turn, you get wolves. They start off as 2/2 green wolf creature tokens. If you have a Nightpack Ambusher in play, they are 3/3. They are not legendary, so you can play multiples at the same time, get a whole bunch of value out of those. And that's sort of one of the big creatures in the deck. The other one is Brineborn Cutthroat. This deck is based on flash, speed, spells, creatures, whatever. So you really should be able to get a lot of value out of this card, and it should get pretty big. They don't shrink down if someone plays, say, a Merfolk Trickster or something on it. They stay with those counters on them. So they're big boys, and they stay big. The other half of the deck is Denial. There's a lot of counterspells. There are 16 counterspells in the form of Syncopates, Essence Scatter, Negate, Sinister Sabotage, and Frilled Mystic. So there's a lot of creatures that generate value over time, generate tokens over time, and then some creatures that counter, and then just a whole bunch of counterspells. So that's sort of the basic. Following up that, we have some Spectral Sailors to help us maybe with a late game to get us some card advantage. We have, as I said, Brineborn Cutthroat. We have Merfolk Trickster to help deal with maybe some mono red or something, just to tap things down if they're too big, or tap and then jump into combat and kill something, just to sort of help deal with some threats that way. Nightpack Ambusher, as we said, and then Frilled Mystic to help with counters, as well as get a creature on the board. And then we do have a 1 of Dream Eater. I have not seen this played in anything yet, but it seems like a good spot. Maybe as the top of the curve, 6 mana is a little bit hard for this deck, maybe, but it's a flash creature. It can bounce something, maybe a big token or a big creature, and get you a little bit of value with Surveil. If you don't need lands, throw some lands in the graveyard, something like that. So that's the crux of the deck. It's blue and green, played at instant speed, get a whole bunch of value, deny your opponent's spells that matter, and get some damage in with the ambushers, and then some flyers. We also have one opt just to sort of maybe, if we're missing on a certain color land in the beginning, if we get that, or want to filter out some lands in the later speed, or if we literally just want to get some counters on a Brineborn Cutthroat, it's a 1 mana counter on the Brineborn Cutthroats. Land package is a 4 of in Breeding Pool, Hinterland Harbor, 3 Temple of Mysteries, 5 Forest, and 8 Islands. So it's a pretty strongly blue mana base. The 5 Forests are important just because you really want to be able to cast Nightpack Ambusher when you have the 4 mana for it, if your opponent doesn't do anything during that turn. So that is why there are a lot of green sources when there's only 8 green spells. So that is today's Mashing the Meta deck, Simic Flash in Best of 1. Now let's see how we do on the ladder. So let's get into the games. Alrighty, opponent goes first. We have a pretty good start. We're almost all the way to Frilled Mystic on our mana base. We could draw any other land. We'll be able to cast with what we have. So we'll lead with a tapped Breeding Pool. We don't have any reason to try to throw out a Spectral Sailor, and we don't have any counters that we want as a 1 mana. Alright, so we can now happily cast anything we want from our hand right now once we hit our 4th land drop. Looking at probably a Brineborn Cutthroat at the end of this turn. It's only going to get bigger as time goes on. Alright, well, we will play another Hinterland Harbor, and go ahead and attack in for 2 damage, and pass over to the opponent. Leave it in their court. So, liking the curve out we have right now, not sure what we're playing. Maybe it's Jund, or sorry, can't be Jund Dinos. I don't know what we're playing. Cry the Carnarium. Do I want to keep the Cutthroat? I don't have much else to do. I could Sinister Sabotage. That will means we can sort of speed up our clock. Then we have Frilled Mystic next turn. Or Nightpack Ambusher. We will go ahead and keep that on top. I don't mind having an extra counterspell in my hand. So we'll play an island. And we will attack for 3. And pass the turn. So we have a pretty good lock on things right now. I'm not sure what they're going to be trying to play. Do we care about Kasmina? I think I kind of do. They only have 1 more mana up. I don't know if they're going to be playing Spell Pierce. I guess I would be upset if they did. But I think we could just put a hard clock on here. And that's going to put blockers that I don't really want to have on there. Yes, we're going to definitely counter that. It is too bad that they gain some life, but it's only 1, so I'm not too upset by that. Go ahead and attack in. And then pass. We have 1 more counterspell up. I hope that we do draw into some extra counterspells. That would be a good thing. So yeah, that's definitely something that we want to counter. Definitely what we want to counter, and I think we might have. Yeah, that is lethal. So, all right. So that was a pretty good game. All right. So this looks like a pretty nice hand. It's a little bit slow. We could always just tap or shock in the breeding pools on turn 3 if we need to. Turn 1, we will happily just let it go because not much we can really do there. So we do have a lot of top-end counter ability, but the Syncopate looks like we're against mono red, so that's too bad. We couldn't get that boy off, but that's okay. We can always just flash in and block, which isn't the best situation, but it's definitely a situation. I mean, it's probably just going to go off. We can Syncopate. Alright, so that's, there's no reason to. It's already going to get the counter even if we were to Syncopate, and all that we're doing is letting them not draw a card, which is actually a pretty unfortunate thing to do with mono red, is giving them extra cards, but they will go ahead and attack. I don't feel like I want to sacrifice a Cutthroat. Hopefully they're not doing anything. Maybe they are. Alright, so we're lighting up the stage. So maybe that's what they were waiting for, which is a little bit unfortunate, but can't really do all that much. Electrostatic Field. This is a weird mono red. So they played a land, and then I guess they might have a shock or something. No, they don't have an instant speed. Alright, so we have the ability to Syncopate for 2 right now. I don't think I'm going to bother. I guess I could trade off with the Steamkin if I don't attack here. Because if I do have something to Syncopate, I can Brineborn Cutthroat and then Syncopate it. Or something, and that could do it. So they might just Barrier, which I can't do both. That was actually not a good idea. That math didn't work out in my head. Oh, this is weird. This is a spicy red. With Scry? Well, I mean, I guess. All right. So do we want them to play this? They're getting the counter anyways. Do we want them to have that? I feel like that is just gonna pick away at our life. Next turn we'll have. Well, they can actually just pay. We can't even counter it, so that's gonna happen. That's unfortunate that we cannot Syncopate. I guess we could have just cast Syncopate on that to try to get them to pay the mana and then have nothing else to do. But yeah, so we're gonna hope that we get one of our unsummons for this Steamkin here. So I don't really feel like blocking. They may just go off now because they'll have access to 5 mana. But we can always Syncopate something else, so we will wait until the end of turn. Okay, so they're not going to do anything, so we will flash in Brineborn Cutthroat. So they do have something. So they may Shock or Lightning Strike or something. I'm not really sure what their mana... Oh, that could just be the Runaway Steamkin energy. So let's go ahead and drop this guy. I don't think that we're going to be attacking. Or, sorry, blocking. I guess we could flash in Nightpack to kill. But... Putting on pressure right now isn't the best idea, because we would rather just kill the Steamkin, I think. We're going to be the little bit slower, safer thing. So they are looking at their Steamkin for mana. So they have 3 mana. So do we want to have them draw cards? I don't think we want them to draw cards. It is interesting. They do seem like they are thinking through things, because they definitely know that we're not going to get counters for casting on their own turn. They're doing it on our end step, so we can't have counter spells necessarily, but I think I'm just going to say we take the damage. So that's going to resolve. That's going to resolve. We'll let them... I will take damage. I can never remember how to do this, though. I'm going to take action, because I want to take 4. Alright. I can never remember that. So they may just do that again, but at least this time we can go ahead and Mystic, get our Brineborns up in power. And then we'll see what they do. So they're thinking. So it would be nice if they did flash that back, because I will counter it. They do go down to just 3 cards in hand. So they are thinking about counting their mana. What? I don't actually remember what this does. That's going to happen, that's going to happen. You may cast a 1 target instant or search a card from your graveyard. So what are they doing? They're trying to do that. So if I counter this, they have nothing else to do. So I think what we do is just counter that. Because now they don't have any way to get their final mana onto the Steamkin. So they're just kind of done. And now we can always unsummon. So I think we just... I don't want to shock this in because I'd rather have both Mystic and that. So I think we will shock. It's rough against mono red, but we do have a ability to maybe take things out. Now, do we unsummon the Steamkin now? And then swing? So if we do that, we can get damage in. We still have 1 counter spell. I think we think that we try to let them... Yeah, okay, so we'll just pass, I think, here. Not really sure what would have been better. I mean, unsummoning on their turn versus our turn doesn't really matter. The only thing that would be if we wanted to bounce the electrostatic field and not die to things, that would be the only thing that would matter. But we're going to probably just unsummon the Steamkin anyway, so they don't have mana. So we'll take these... I shouldn't have let that go on. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. So we will go ahead and unsummon now. That was a mistake. They might just suck the mana up. Okay, they did not. So do we want to counter the Steamkin when it comes back down? Or do we want to just Syncopate for 3 here on the risk factor? And then hopefully they don't have anything else. Let that resolve. I think they are down a card, so I think we just Syncopate for... Well, they can pay 3. I keep doing that wrong. I think we'll just go ahead and counter this, and if they have something that's, you know, worse for 3 mana, I'm not really sure what it is, but we have some pretty good stuff swinging their way. So, I mean, they might want to replay the Steamkin. I'm not sure what else they have for 3 mana. I mean, it's a... Whether it's... We're getting down pretty low in life, so... Really, if they have a shock... or a lightning strike shocks, we're dead, you know, in 2 turns anyway, so hopefully they don't have too much burn in their hand. I hope that we draw a counter spell of some kind. Alright, so they're going to replay the Steamkin, and they have a light up the stage. Okay, so that's crummy. So, light up the stage, and a skewer the critic. So we are dead next turn, and I don't think we can do much about it. We will scry. We're going to keep that on top because we want counter spells. I don't know if they have any hasty boys, but we can also... They have counter spells, so we'll attack with those. If they want to trade the Steamkin for the Mystic, go ahead, but I think we're just kind of... Oh, they could just... I didn't really think that through. Oh, they don't really have access to all that much. It kind of depends on what they draw or what they have in their hand, because they could... Yeah, they could hard cast. I guess all they have to do is hard cast the Skewer to me, and then I die. But I can counter one of them. So if they have 2 burn spells, we're toast. It's like they should have the mana they need. Alright, so yeah, we are dead. Because... yeah, they shouldn't pay, because they win if they don't pay. Because all I gotta do is cast Skewer the Critics. Yeah, so, alright, good game. They got it. We'll just let them do it, because sometimes people punt. Okay, alright. Yep, that's game. Alright, so we went a little bit too low. Maybe we shouldn't have taken that that damage from that first Skewer the Critics. Or, sorry, Risk Factor. But, hey, you know what? That happens. So we are going first. We have a Scryland, 2 Syncopates, a Merfolk Trickster, and a Nightpack Ambusher. I think we will keep this. We will drop out our Temple of Mystery. We will scry. I think we'll probably keep that guy on top for some early pressure. He's better than the Trickster to just have, just to cast in time of need. So we'll draw that guy next turn. Tranquil Cove. So they might be scape shifting. We'll see. So we'll go ahead and put out an island and pass. See what they have. So if it is the scape shift deck, I don't know what's in there, but they don't seem to do all that much early on. So we'll go ahead and Cutthroat. We will go ahead and Forest. We'll attack in for 2 and then pass the turn. So we have counter spells. I don't know. They're not going to play any 1-mana spells, so I'm not really sure what they have to deal with our early pressure. Although it isn't much early pressure. It's just one dude. Elvish Rejuvenator. Do we want him to have an Elvish Rejuvenator? Next turn we can drop a Nightpack Ambusher, so I'm not really too worried about that. I guess it does get them another land, and we have another Syncopate. So why not? Yeah, it's a little greedy, but I also want to lock them out of ramping. Especially if they were to go get a red. Gates Ablaze comes online, and I'm not a fan of Gates Ablaze. Especially when I'm looking to cast Nightpack Ambusher soon. But Scape Shift is the one that we want, but we don't really need to worry about that until we have the dead guy. Yeah, that guy. Growth Spiral. Do we want to counter Growth Spiral? I think at this point I'd rather play the Ambusher and get that down sooner. They probably have a land to put on. If they don't, okay, they do, yeah. More mystery, sure. So they're at 5, so now we can Nightpack Ambusher, and that's a pretty good board state to have. So hopefully we can actually get some counter action drawn into the next draw we have. Not happy that they scry to the top. So we'll flash in the Ambusher. Attack for 8. That puts them on a 2-turn clock if they don't have anything. So we have an Opt, which we'll probably just do on their turn. So we can get the pump. Alright, so what do you got, opponent? We have lethal. What do you got? What do you got? Prison Realm. Probably going to target the Ambusher. We can have... We'll have 5, 6 power on board, unless we can play 2 spells, which we theoretically could. So I think I'm actually going to let this resolve. I assume they're going to target the Ambusher. It would be silly not to. So they're going to go ahead and let that guy go there. If they don't play anything else, we do have the ability to just Trickster and Opt, which would put us into the point of lethal anyways if they don't have any other threats. So we have 6 power. So that one we're going to counter. We just have to Syncopate for 1. So we're going to do it for 2. We want to tap all of our green boys. Oh, that was bad. No, that's okay. So they don't have anything to do there. So we can get down more damage. Alright, cool. Scape Shift down. Scape Shift down. We have Opt. A bunch of counter spells, Breeding Pool, Brineborn Cutthroat, Negate. Alright. So a little bit of a risky hand, but because we have some pressure possibly with that, and we are on the play, we can get our lands down. We maybe shock in the second Breeding Pool. When I say maybe, I say definitely. It's a weird spell to play. Maybe this is the Vampires deck. White Weenie Vampire or something like that? I don't know. It's weird. So they're on the major life gain thing going on here. We can Syncopate that. And hopefully next turn we will draw land. I think they're just really going for life gain. This isn't... I don't know what this is. So we're going to take away their life gain. And the Syncopate's better early anyways. Alright, cool. So we got there with the land. We will pass. We have Sabotage up. But hopefully they don't cast anything we really want to care about too much. I'm going to say that's fine. Although we can negate and then opt. I think we'll do that to... That doesn't actually... That's... Yeah, no, we'll let that go, because I want to get the Brineborn down. And then I can also opt after the Brineborn's down. But they also could just cast something else, so... That's a good thing I didn't do that. My initial was just a counter. Oh yeah, that is a not gonna happen guy right there. No thank you. Alright, Spectral Sailor we don't want right now. Although it is a cheap way to get Cutthroat up, but I would rather have it land. Alright, so... Man, they have all the life gain things. I don't really know what to say about all that. Alright, Pride Maid. Definitely want to counter a Pride Maid. Alright, so we'll Cutthroat. And we'll opt. Mystic on top? Sure. Counter and get a Creature. Draw a Temple of Mystery, which we will use to scry a forest to the bottom. We'll get in for 3 damage. And then we'll pass the turn to them. So now we can hard counter 1 spell this turn, which that's definitely something I want to hard counter. Let's hope they don't have another one that they'll just go ahead and throw down afterwards. I'd be surprised, but draws like that happen. Alright, cool, so they didn't. So we're a little bit safer now. So we have the ability to negate and Sinister Sabotage, so we can definitely get things going here. I'm probably okay with this, right? I mean, I don't know if I'll have another chance to negate something, but do I want to do that? If I do that, this guy goes to... Yeah, so if we can counter 2 things, we do get lethal next turn. So if they try to cast something for 3 mana, we can counter it, and then we Brineborn and win. So if they don't play a spell, we are more likely to lose a game. If they play a spell that we can counter, well, they just might not play something. Dang. Alright, so we'll just shock this in. So we have 4 blue, so we can easily just counter 2 things and hopefully win. I don't know if they have. So... Yeah, that's going to give him a whole bunch of life, so we're going to totally counter that guy. What do we want to draw? Counter spells? We don't want an island. No counter spells. Unless they have something else. They're not going to... Oh, what a buddy! What a bud. Good game for that guy. Hey, he's a team player. Good game. I like it when people are like that. See, that's the kind of fun that you can have in Magic. When you know you can't do anything, you don't have any outs, you just have fun. This looks like a happy hand to keep. We can start off with the Temple of Mystery. So I'm not really worried about unsummoning on turn 1. 2 counters. 1 is a creature at the top of the curve. Maybe we can scry into... Well, this wouldn't be terrible to have as a bump up for the Cutthroat. Hopefully we'll be able to draw a card coming in the next turn or two after that. Alright, so we will go ahead and I think we'll just actually play a forest. And maybe Brineborn Cutthroat at the end of the turn if they don't do much. Not like we can counter it. Anything like that anyways. It would be nice to have a Syncopate in hand, but that's okay. Alright, so maybe they're playing some sort of Is It deck. Yeah. Looks like Arclight Phoenix. We'll flash in Brineborn. Let's play the blue. Attack for 2. And then we will hold up Sinister Sabotage for something bad that we want to counter, or we will flash in Spectral Sailor. And I think we will shock in the Breeding Pool if we don't get an untapped land next turn. I think that's probably worth a counter. That just enables them pretty hard. And we know we have a counter spell next turn if we hold up that. Do we want an untapped source? I think I'd rather dig for counter spells at this point, so we'll drop the land in the bin. Another Brineborn. I think we will shock in, as we said, but first we'll attack. And now we hold up our Frilled Mystic. I don't know what they're going to have on 4. I don't know if they have our Rekindling Phoenix or something like that. I'm not really sure. I haven't seen this deck in a while. Tread a Course. Sure. Okay, I guess. I mean, we can always just unsummon one of the Arclights back. They didn't get an Arclight in the graveyard anyway, so... So they're going to pass the turn. I think we will Brineborn Cutthroat. Maybe they're playing counter spells? If they are... Oh, they're lightning striking. I can't make it bigger anyways. I mean, I can Spectral Sailor... But the counter will still make it 3 toughness, so it's going to die anyway. That's too bad. Yeah, I guess I could have saved it by unsummoning, but maybe that was a better choice to do. I don't actually know. And I think we will actually do this as well. Because now we can hold up the Frilled Mystic, because we do have 3 blue, right? Blue, 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 blue. Yeah, we have 4 blue. So we can do both of these things if we chose to. I don't see us needing to do that necessarily. But they also haven't done much pressure, and I'm really not upset by this because they only have 1 Arclight in there. They're probably going to ditch another one, but we also just can unsummon one, and if they go to play something else, so they discarded Radical Idea. They don't have anything. We're not going to play anything. We'll just attack for 4 again next turn. Oh, dude, darn! I forgot to draw a card. Wasn't thinking. Looking for a shock, probably. All right, yeah, meant to draw a card. We had the mana untapped. That was silly of me not to do that, but hey, you know. Sometimes you forget and you don't play optimally. Ryzen. Thinking about what's in their gravy boat. What are they going to try to cast? They're going to try to cast Lightning Strike. They have 2 mana after that. They might just Radical Idea. I think we're going to counter that. And we do have the ability to unsummon. Okay, and they give it up because they saw the writing on the wall. Had too much damage on the board next turn. All right, Is It Phoenix? Taken down. All right, we go first. Not the best hand, but it'll work. We'll start with a Temple of Mystery. Those hand, you know, I looked at that art a lot. Never really knew what it was on the picture there. It's hands. They're cupping hands. It's cute. It's not cute. It's very mysterious, though. All right. See what our opponent leads with. A Thornwood Falls. We will lead with a... What do we lead with, actually? A Forest? Because the Hinterland Harbor is going to come and play tap because we don't have what we want. So I think we will lead with this. We can still cast. The only thing we can't cast is the Trickster. We'll have 2 blue next turn if we drop the Forest. So I guess blue. Yeah, we'll just drop the Forest and pass. Because I don't really see myself wanting to Trickster anything. If this is Scape Shift. Maybe it's not Scape Shift. I don't know. Alright, so Hinterland Harbor. Fast turn. 1 more land drop and we'll be able to Nightpack Ambusher. Ah, so maybe they're playing what we're playing here. Which I think, do we want to let that resolve? I think we do, yeah. We'll let it resolve, because I'd rather counter what they're going to play next. On this turn, their turn 3. Or save it for a turn 4. We can also just kill it with the Merfolk Trickster. Which I think is a better idea, because then it won't grow. And it's probably a better thing, because if they're playing the same deck we are, I don't really know what they could have that would be worth Trickstering. So I'd rather just get rid of it so that on our turn it doesn't get any bigger. Alright, so we're totally in Sinister Sabotage mode or Nightpack Ambusher mode. We will happily pass with our 4 lands and get ready to either counter or ambush. I'd love if they don't play anything, but that's kind of what their deck does. So they could have a Sinister Sabotage here. So the question is, do we try to pass? I haven't played the mirror yet. I just know that if they have Shifting Ceratops, we're just kind of screwed. Alright, do we try to ambush? If we draw another one, we might be able to do it. So let's try to ambush. Probably going to sabotage. Oh, Wizard Retort. Okay. They are playing that. That's fair. Alright, so we're just gonna pass here, I guess. And hopefully we can we have Essence Scatter and Negate up for things that they might play. So they're missing their land drops too. If we just keep passing back and forth. I wish I had a land there, because then we can hold up different things. So what's the chance they have a Spell Pierce? Alright, cool. So we got our Nightpack Ambusher down. So I guess if they have an Unsummon, that's the only thing that's unfortunate for us. But we did get the better creature down. Oh. Ah, they are playing some removal. That's not a bad card to have. Alright, so I guess we just swing. So we have a Sinister Sabotage and a Negate. We have a bunch of different things that we could be doing here. So, all right. Well, this is fun. All right. So they're just taking damage. We're just gonna hold off as well. So they're probably going to try to cast an Ambusher, which we will Essence Scatter happily. Or do we have enough to sabotage and still play our Brineborn? I guess that's okay. That's fine. I'm happy to get hit with this if it attacks me. Maybe they're just trying to get it to a point where they can... No, yeah, so that's fine. I'd rather save the Unsummon for a Brineborn during their turn. So let's see if we can get this in the board. It looks unlikely, but yeah, I think we'll just pass. I think we can't really think about doing that on their turn because we want to hold up counter spells because they had all that mana. So I feel like they're going to probably have a Trickster here, but that wouldn't kill. So we do have a lot of ways to deal with that Brineborn. So they were playing Growth Spiral, so do we want to let that happen? I think we'll just negate that. If they want to counter that, I'm actually fine. Yeah, that's okay here. So now we could, if we wanted to... that's getting pretty big here. So that's going to get big. Now, we still could counter the Growth Spiral if we really wanted to, but do we really worry about that right now? I think not. We are no longer going to win the race here, but we can also... We could get down a Cutthroat and a Sailor ourselves right now if we wanted to. We can also just unsummon the Cutthroat, which I think is probably worth doing. So it's our turn right now. Let's Brineborn ourselves, and then it is our turn, and we can unsummon the Brineborn so they lose all their value there. All right, so now we are reset a little bit. We have a better clock. It's too bad we can't Essence Scatter the Brineborn now on their turn, but next turn, and maybe that isn't even going to happen. Maybe they're not going to play it. Maybe they have an Ambusher to play. We do. So we go for our attack. They may flash in. Okay. Do we want to counter this? We can't then do both. Do we care about this? I think they don't have a lot going on, so I think I'll just say that we're going to Essence Capture, or Essence Scatter that. And if they want to counter that, that's fine. So that baited that counter spell. We're still going to get in. We have Frilled Mystic for next turn. So the only thing that we're worried about them having on their turn is then the... I don't want them to have that in the game. I don't want another Spectral Sailor. So now counter, 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 get in for 5 damage, put them to 9, and hopefully they don't have a Nightpack Ambusher, which they also may just play on the end of our turn anyways, but I think in the mirror you don't want to do that. So they just went away and passed. So we're looking pretty good on this. So they have another Frilled Mystic. So we can Syncopate for 4. But they could have something. So if we Syncopate, it's our turn right now. They just cast that for... Yeah, let's do a hard counter. Oh no! No! Oh gosh! Oh! They countered it anyways. Okay. That's fine. They could have just paid the 3. I don't know why I did that by accident. I'm such a doorknob. Alright, okay, so they get their Frilled Mystic down. They'll probably block the Beast. Yeah, so they're going to take 2. And I think that it's probably worth just getting this down on our turn. Because, yeah, the 1/1 counter would be great, but they might just draw a counterspell. So again, the only thing we're really worried about is Ambusher. But again, they seem to be only playing on our turn, which is generally the right thing to do. But I found that in the mirror right now, it seems like I don't want to do that. All right, cool. So attack. We are drawing a lot less lands than they are, so they also... they probably didn't draw a land, but... All right, so we can't do both of these in the same turn, which is a little bit unfortunate. So we have a hard counter to a creature or a hard counter to a spell. I'm willing to say that anything that's going to destroy a creature is probably okay. See, that's a weird spell to play. Because it's got Flash. Alright, well, we're going to try to cast Brineborn. And if they have a Frilled Mystic, we can counter it with the Essence Scatter. They don't. They have... Oh, okay. So they could be drawing a Frilled Mystic. They could draw different things. Maybe they didn't draw land. Maybe they're looking for a counterspell. Frilled Mystic is the perfect thing for them to cast. Unless they have a Spell Pierce here. Which they did not. We ended up pretty well there. We drew a land. Okay, and that's the game. So there was a mirror match. That was pretty good. I think they playing on our turn actually turned out to be the right thing because sometimes they didn't have mana. All right, that is it for Mashing in the Meta Simic Flash. I hope you guys liked the video. I really liked the deck. It was fun to play, fun to record. I thought it played pretty well against the meta that is currently there. We did get some good wins. We went up against the best deck a couple times and did pretty well. Escape Shift deck, that is. I think it's actually a pretty affordable deck to play. Most of the cards I had already from drafting or opening packs from prizes and things like that. The dual lands are a little bit on the expensive side, and then maybe the Nightpack Ambusher. Those are only really the rares that you need for the deck. The Dream Eater was definitely not necessary. It didn't have much of an impact on the deck, so I think you can definitely get away with playing this for pretty cheap on your accounts. But yeah, that's the end. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, let us know. Comment, like, subscribe. If you didn't like it, let us know why. And we'll hope to get more of these out to you. And as I always say, and you don't want to forget, you can only outlast as a sorcery. Keep brewing.